Hi, I'm Anne from Game Like a Mother. Today I'm going to share a rules overview and review of Illusion. It's ages 8 and up, 2 to 5 players, and it takes 15 minutes. Let me show you how to play. The goal of the game is to be the first to either collect 3 of these arrow cards or just to have the most of the arrow cards once you've played through all 12 at the end of the game. To start, you flip over an arrow card. That's the color you're placing in sequence this round. You take one of these cards and put it in front of the stack of cards. And then you're supposed to draw lots, or we usually just have the youngest player go first. And whoever the youngest player is, they have to take this card and place it in what they think is the correct sequence in relation to this card so that it is in order from least amount of red to most red as the cards go on. It's the next person's turn, and on their turn, they have a choice. They can either place an additional card, or they can say, I don't believe it, and flip over the cards already played down to see if they're in correct sequence. So this person, they're going to go ahead and play the card. It's the next person's turn, and yes, you can move the cards, so you can place a card in the middle if you like, and then it gets around to the next person's turn, and we're going to go ahead and have them say, I don't believe it, and check the cards to see if they are indeed in sequence. So they're going to flip over the cards, and we have, you just look at all of the percentages of the different colors on the card, and we're only checking red. That's all we care about right now. This is 13%, 15%, 22%, and then 38%. So, ooh, it was in correct sequence. If that happens, the person who last played a correct card would get the arrow card. So we'll say it's this person here. They would get the arrow card. If it wasn't in sequence, if it had been 15%, then 13%, the person who correctly said, oh, it's not in sequence, if it was this player, then they would get this card instead. So, but it was in the correct order. If there is, sometimes you have the same percentage on 2 of the cards. If it had been 13% and then another 13%, it could have been in either order and it would have been okay if there was a tie. So this person got the card because they were the last person to play them and have them all be in correct sequence. These cards get discarded off to the side. Then another arrow is played out. A card is played out. And then this person right here starts doing the same thing. They place the next card. This person, ooh, it's tricky. They're going to place it right here. And then again, each time you have the choice of either saying, I don't believe it, and flipping them over, or just keeping on playing until somebody thinks something's out of sequence. So if it's like this and someone says, okay, let's look, you just flip it over each time. And ooh, we have tie, 4 and 4%, 24%, 21%. So it wouldn't have been in sequence. And whoever said to flip it over with the get the card, keep on going until someone gets to 3 cards or until you've gone through the entire stack, and that is the end of the game. So that's how to play Illusion. The target demographic for this game is for a casual game night group or a game where you want to have an activity but also be able to chat during it. This works perfectly for that. The rule complexity is so easy. You basically, sometimes I don't even bother explaining the rules. I just flip out the cards and start going and say, okay, play your card higher or lower here. Okay, it's the next person's turn. Do you think this has more or less red, whatever the color is you're going for? Then these, put it in sequence, okay, and go on. And then people are playing the game, and it's beautiful to have one that is that easy, but also very fun to play. How competitive is this game? It's low to medium. It depends on who you're playing with. There, especially in a larger group, it's kind of harder to control when you're going to be able to say, oh, it's out of sequence and flip over and look at the cards. So, but it's not one where people feel bad if they lose the game. In my experience, you're very excited if you win, but if you lost because you weren't getting the cards in sequence, or just it's not one where you think, oh, I should have had better strategy when playing that game, because it's just spatial awareness and being able to tell how much of a specific color is in a certain picture. The replay value is high because this isn't a game that's going to be your family's Friday night game that you're going to play every Friday and say, oh, I want to play Illusion every Friday because it's such a fun, like, this is the game, I want to see how far we can get in it. But because it is such a useful game for so many different groups of people, it gets a lot of play because you can take it to a family function and grandparents, uncles, cousins, children, everybody can kind of play it together successfully. But it's also just as good for an intense board game group before they get into some 4-hour game as a welcome game and as people are showing up and to be able to talk during. So it does tend to be played quite a bit because of that. Similar games, if you like this game, Timeline is pretty similar, except you're trying to get rid of cards by playing them in sequence according to when they happened in history. It's lovely. I really enjoy it. And then also, if you're looking for something with a little bit of a unique appeal, there is The Mind, which is by the same publisher, Pandasaurus Games. And then it's a cooperative game, and you're not saying anything to each other. You're staring into each other's eyes and trying to play cards in sequence. And what's crazy is that it works. So it's a really fun, unique game. But Illusion is really great. It's been one of my go-tos for a while now. So I hope you check it out. Thanks and see you next time from Game Like a Mother.